Whose car is this?
Whose name is that?
No way. What do you think about that?
That's cool.
Good morning. We are headed to Detroit today. What's in Detroit? Chevrolet. What's the coolest thing Chevrolet's building right now?
The COPO Camaro.
Here we go. So we're in Detroit, we got a rental car. So you've heard about the crisis in rental cars?
There is a shortage.
Look at this. It's a way to go for getting one. And no, they didn't have a Jeep Wrangler, but we tried. Actually,
But you know what we do have?
Chevrolet Tahoe.
Chevrolet. All right.
So it's kind of cool, not really, but to see this, because hopefully in the near future, there will be rental cars. Now we're on our way to Detroit to Oxford.
We're in Oxford.
How did we get to Oxford? We landed
We're
in Detroit.
and then we're driving to Oxford. Yeah, you said it right.
There you go. We're gonna go hunt down. We're gonna go hunt for a water tower. Zach has had amnesia the last couple weeks. Wasn't my fault. It's his.
We won't do it again.
Sorry, guys.
Morning, Alex.
Morning.
How was the run?
Awesome. It was about 1,200 miles.
So long.
Yeah.
That's a long run. Why would we go 1,200 miles? And we're now in the library coffee room of the Royal Park Hotel in Rochester, Michigan. And we're going to have to head to Oxford, Michigan for 2222 COPO, the actual facility where they build the cars.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to see them build how the COPOs are built from the ground up. And the most exciting thing is our car's ready.
Our car's ready, and I hear there's some surprises that I know nothing about. So I'm kind of excited to
There's
see how
actually
the day unfolds.
surprises on our car that nobody knows anything about. It's super special. There's two really special things on it. They're the first time they've ever been done in the industry. So y'all grab your cup of joe and let's go. You guys ready to see how COPO's built?
Yes,
I'm ready.
I am.
An entire factory all in one building.
Have you ever seen a production line?
I haven't.
I haven't either. Have you?
Absolutely I have. You remember how old I am, Kels?
Older than the Big Mac.
I actually built a COPO at their old COPO facility.
Oh, I remember when you did that.
Yeah, so
I
yes, I'm
remember
very familiar with the process. But this is a once in a lifetime deal. You are not allowed to come to COPO or Turnkey unless you're a COPO owner or you have one currently being built. So there's no tours, and I believe at this facility here for the 2022s that the first time this has been shot on camera. So this is an honor and a privilege. Just go do this. Cool.
Good morning.
How are you?
Welcome.
Kind of like Kramer ripping through the door.
What are you here for?
I'm here to see you.
I think, I know who you are, I think, but I think you're 001 COPO.
How are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
Is Alex Bowen?
Alex.
You call me that from now.
Who's Alex?
Last day was on.
I can ask what?
Oh, you call me 001.
Okay, 001.
Alex is my lead classic car tech. He's the one that has to keep the car running if you're not around.
Oh, it'll stay around. I don't know if you'll be able to handle it, though. A little training goes a long ways. And a set of tires. But,
Well, thanks for having us.
yeah.
We're excited.
Oh, yeah, we're excited, too.
Let's roll.
Right out of the gate, the great thing is these are my race cars that I run right here. This just so happens to be one of the very first 396 4-speed cars, back when you and I met.
Right.
I think I tried to talk you into 4-speed, but that didn't happen yet.
No, I think I tried to talk you into a 4-speed, and at that time you didn't have time to do it.
Well, if you did, so and this car, it just so happens I sat out the first year when we started the COPO program, and when I started racing this car, we hit the ground running. We actually did national event and world record runs with this car, and it did 7 of them in a year and a half. I lived in the tech barn with NHRA, passed every time, so this car's probably got more NHRA record runs than any car in history, especially Camaro. 7 consecutively. That's a lot.
Congratulations.
That's a lot of tear down.
You trust it.
The winningest. So when we're talking about this generation COPO, the 2012s to 2022s, what do you call it? Is this the second generation of COPO since it's
so we
fired
do.
back up?
For example, this car was a Gen 5 car, and then GM went back and redesigned the entire car. We affectionately call them Gen 6 COPO. So you either got a Gen 5 or you got a Gen 6.
Okay.
And during that time frame, you know, we went from an offering to having 350 naturally aspirated motors and then supercharged 350s, as well as 427s and 396s. So as the technology, which moved, and it moves very quickly to GM at a very high level, the technology started changing, the product had to change with it. So the evolution, not only the body, but the drivetrain as well.
So moving from, let's say, the 69 COPOs, because that program didn't restart again until 2012.
Yeah, well, so
this is Gen 5, Gen 6.
yeah, so it was kicked off in 2012. There was a desire always to go back and do a program, but you know, all the stars aligned, and we did it, and we made a car that was manufacturable at a very high level of quality, and it's worked out quite well. So.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, you'll see more COPOs in the staging lanes now than any other car. And that's at the NHRA events as well as the NMCA events.
So the
35 to 40.
The winningest Gen 5 car is that car.
Yeah, this car from a record standpoint, it's done very well. It's had a number of different engine configurations. This is a Gen 6 car over here.
So you're the actual modern day Dick Landy.
I don't know.
Running the stick.
I just grind every day. Sometimes gears, but you know, I just work at it. This was a fantastic car. This was an evolution of technology. 302 direct injected, the latest level of GM technology for their cars and their trucks. Very special car. Performed within 1.5 seconds below the NHRA index. Says a lot about what you can do with General Motors product. The basic platform of all these LS engines and even the big block engines is a production engine.
So that was a 302 car?
Yeah.
I didn't know you built one.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
That's a 302. Wow. Yeah. And if you look at this tag here, you see that it came, etc.
And the motor's numbered on the pad.
Yep.
Who pushed it really hard to do that?
Well, as you know, with anything special, you need to have it all tied back to the original build. And part of that is the build sheets that you were so adamant on when we started building COPOs. That guys, people buy the documentation as much as they buy the car these days. So,
that was probably one of the most important things he taught me when we started putting auctions and cars together and stuff.
And as you know, if any car has history, even better yet. You know, we've seen a number of the shows on TV where these barn finds are uncovered and they have such awesome history. And when those people are gone or those cars gone, that story's gone. And
we spend a lot of time. We do buy some super rare cars even now that doesn't have the paperwork. Take the chance. It takes a long time to figure it out. But
so let's move on to the line. If you take a look at what's on this side of the line, the process starts here after the car's gone through the fab shop. It'll go down the assembly line, and it has a very specific set of components that go on in a very specific way and torque specs. There's a Traveler that's with the car.
so when the bodies get here, are you painting the bodies here, or are they already painted?
If you take and put a car in the line, this envelope has all the tasks that get done in this station. And then for every subsequent station, there's also a sign off by the leader as well. So the level of consistency and quality and durability, reliability all comes from this process.
This is the same folder process you were using in 12, 13, 14,
Yeah,
15.
When it works, it works.
It's simple. No, it's not an optic barcode reader chasing the car down the line. These cars are they come to us as an awesome product from Lansing Grand River. It's a COPO specific body, as you know,
Right.
and it has those things that we've been looking forward to do to them throughout the whole time period, COPO development. And then by the time they get to the line, they're a finished car. So let's take a look at a raw body.
So are you getting them painted now? Or you still have
We
to
still
paint them?
still paint the cars that require a special paint. But these cars, if you've ordered a red COPO, black COPO, white COPO, or a COPO that is within the GM product line, it will come unto us. And we have a body kit that comes right from General Motors too that attaches to the car, front rear fascias, rockers, whatnot. But the car itself has no sound ender. It has very specific things that are COPO only. Although people can build a clone, this is the real deal, and there ain't many of them.
Well, but if you're thinking about building a clone, it costs about triple what you can buy one for here, right?
Yeah. So let's go where the actual first thing that happens. If you receive a COPO and you got one of the plant colors, the car is immediately covered in this 3M material that's used at production assembly plants as well to protect the vehicles. Believe it or not, we can get a whole car through the build process without having, a dent in it or any damage. Over here, body comes in, for example, you can see that we've started to modify the chassis, open up the wheelhouse.
Now you gotta look at this. They do a tremendous amount of fabric on these cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It is. Just take a body and put it together.
So, as you know, all Gen 5 and all Gen 6 Camaros had an independent rear suspension. That suspension had a cradle assembly. Well, this car has been converted over to a 4-link style rear axle with wheelie bars. So a solid axle has to fit in this car. So we actually cut these openings. We modify the chassis where need be to make it an 850 spec roll cage. It meets all NHRA and NMCA specs. But once again, all this work is done with the fixtures that you see over in the wall. We maintain extremely close tolerances. And as hard as that may seem to do, the payoff is that you build cars more efficiently with higher level quality. So it's worth it to be the critical on dimensions. It's like a puzzle. When it gets wet, it don't go back together well. You want to stick to the numbers on these. Come on over here. This is where a welder actually welds himself into a cage. And he can't get out.
Wow.
This is now that the underbody chassis provisions were done. You can see the 4-link attachments to the floor here, where the upper lower control arms mount. Once again, the Traveler's working its way down the line, and they will.
I can remember when I got a first couple of them back to the house, and some local chassis builders call. I won't say who they are, but very well-known guys. And they came out and started looking at the car. They were there about 30 minutes. They're like, how much time do we have to look at this car? So you can't take the car, but you look at it. They're like, they're just floored at the work that you guys do. It's just phenomenal.
Well, I mean, we use best practices, best product, and we try to just continue with best class practices. And we build a car that we would want ourselves. You know how I am. I'm just like you.
Very particular.
We're probably more critical than most people. But if we put that into the love into the car, the customer's gonna be real satisfied. They're trouble free.
To build this car on your own would just be not only cost prohibitive. I don't think you'd ever get there. The R&D you guys have done is amazing.
Yeah, and we hear it more often than not. Is anybody that's been in the vehicle, high-end vehicle business, is that these vehicles are a huge value. The opportunity to do this in a cost-effective way is now. We can't say what's going to happen in the future, as you know.
Right.
So let's work our way down.
How are you doing?
Stuck?
You stuck?
Are you? Get out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Let's head back across. When we did the Gen 6 car, we did the Gen 5 car. We have fixtures that hold these parts, within very tight tolerances, 40, 60 thousandths, and that's what gives us that repeatability. The colors represent the level of type of fitment or usage, where some are used just to drill holes. So when we repaint the underbody, the motor compartment, the primer is already, you don't drill after paintwork, right? So let's go over here.
Quick question. The first time we came here, you let us work on building one of these cars with you.
Yeah.
We had to cut the
We
whole
never
rank.
forgot that, by the way.
You never forgot it? Had to cut all of this out. Are you still having to do that?
So any unnecessary part that we don't need gets removed off the car, but there are limits. You say it's not worth doing this or that. You'll notice there's some studs and there's some pieces here and there. If it's not necessary for reliability, durability, or the build itself, we remove it.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. This firewall in this area versus this area over here. Because we're racers and we know cars and we know the racers will play with them, we wanted the ability to slide the turbo 4 transmission out and remove the engine in separate components. So these pockets are literally designed so you can get a ratchet behind there and service your car.
Are there still some guys, I know early on guys were running multiple motor packages.
They do.
Is that another reason you did this? So you get the drivetrain in and out?
So yeah, you can, guys have gone from turbo 400s to turbo 350s, they've even done 700 R4s, and we've got a package for every one of those, whether it be the transmission mount or the drive chassis.
What's your thought now on the 350 versus the 400? Because I remember back early on when we were building some of the CRC cars, the 350 seemed to work better for me.
It's really hard to beat the turbo 400, but you do have that weight factor. But the way the cars are built, extremely good spec, and they've held up well. In the aftermarket, there are some 350s out there that now have SF5 cases, and racers go to them. But we found the ATI Transit we currently use to be extremely robust throughout the whole build of COPOs and that experience with the racers.
I know the collectors, which unfortunately a lot of these cars just go straight to the collection, don't hit the track.
The collectors, and that's a good thing because the collectors make the program viable for the people who race. The funny thing is the collectors they get an itch, and guess what happens? They start doing it, and then they buy another car.
They buy another car.
They do, they buy another car.
But are those the guys that normally buy the multiple motor packages because they want them on the stand and in their collection, or are the racers buying the multiple motor packages?
It was half and half for a while because the racers really thought that they wanted to try those different packages, but they really quickly settle into what class they're going to run.
Okay.
So
and figure out what they like.
It turned into more of the collectors than anyone else.
Okay. I was curious about that.
This is really what your car went through to get down the line. What's amazing is that this entire car is painted in PPG Glamour show car quality paint, but we do it with OEM plus practices. That graphic is painted on. Feel it. You cannot even feel the paint transition.
Wow.
Okay.
When was the last time that Chevrolet did that? A long time.
Well, on COPOs, we try to come out every few years with something very unique and even more inventive than the last, if possible. I think we're the only people out there in a low volume production environment that are doing it, and they're the people who love quality love.
Did you feel that?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And I'll tell you,
You would never know.
GM Design Center, bless their heart. Those guys are so talented. They came up with a scheme, and then they refined it and refined it and refined it. If you've ever worked with designers, they're never done. But boy, when they were done with this, it was phenomenal.
Wow.
And this as well is all. This is all clear. You can feel it. You can't feel any of it.
Well, Alex is doing his actual first total paint job himself, so I'm sure you can appreciate that.
We can help.
Oh yeah?
Teach you a few things over here in the paint shop.
Yeah, for sure.
So working way down the line.
I love it.
So yeah, at each stage, certain things are done, whether it's the rear axle being put in, the suspension, the interior. Very unique carpet set. It's a production carpet set, but they make us ours that don't have certain holes and things done to it, and without the sound under on it. Same thing with the headliner. We worked out a deal with the manufacturer who makes the production one. We said, hey, we don't want 7 layers with a bunch of isolation pucks. We want 3 layers because we got to slide it. Do you remember when we did the first?
I do. It went through the windshield, right?
Yeah.
So to put the headliner in the car.
Imagine, look at this space, and imagine that headliner with all that contour has got to get through this gap. I remember we said, well, maybe we'll get it wet and we'll get it through.
Well, I think they were setting me up to fail. Because he made me put my own headliner in one of the cars.
Well, I do remember.
But I got it in there, didn't I?
I do remember that when we gave you the headliner, I think it was you and Richard were looking at each other like, there's just no way.
Yeah, because I'm looking at how are we going to get it in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why the windshield was out and left out of his car.
Good shot of what goes on. I mean, a lot of this car is General Motors regular production, but the areas that we've set up for drag racing, look at the cross member. There's a huge beam that goes across there, solid mounted. Pre-bent CNC trans lines, fuel lines built by Aeromotive in high quality standards. These are not just hand fitted parts over here that could leak. These are really high quality fuel lines. The whole running a non-resistant rain system harness in this car, as well as all the communication to the dash, is something we build right on site. It's one of our specialties.
That was quicker to drop the motor out of the bottom? Or
absolutely, it's quicker to build the car. We have an engine cradle, we'll show you. The engine and trans get mated together. There's specific dimensions it has to meet for angle and location. It is dressed, and we load it from underneath just like the manufacturing plant. So we use all those same practices to load it, torque it down, and confirm its location.
If you're servicing a motor and you need it out of the car, do you drop it out of the bottom or you put it out of the top?
So now that the car is already built, basically you pull the drive shaft trans out and the motor comes out. I did one morning in testing. I did 3 engine changes. I came in at 7. We did 3 engine changes in the same car before 12 o'clock.
That's awesome.
That's how fast.
That is. Yeah. That's
so
quick.
it's made, as I told you earlier, it's made to be racer friendly. But these are gas and oil cars. You may remember that COPO logo.
Yes.
We stuck with that. I think it was one of the first things you guys noticed when you came in on the first COPO program.
Right. That's really neat.
Yeah, nobody wanted to give that up.
I think I pressed pretty hard to get that.
Parachute mount.
Okay.
All cars have the provision, so if you called later and you said you want a parachute kit, we got a kit that'll bolt on.
So you don't take the whole car apart.
Yeah. Now you can see the cars moving further along. Here.
Awesome.
Well, this is a very special day, obviously.
Yes, it is.
One, it's a special day for our business and General Motors because the COPO program is so successful. You're looking at a whole new facility for us. So we've moved since the last time we were together. So what's also special about it is 001 in our new location here in Oxford, Michigan. We're strong.
So it's done.
It's done, and this is the car.
Well, whose car is that?
So
Who got one?
well, I'm gonna show you in a little bit, but I want to show you how nice this car is.
It's time.
Make 'em bounce, bounce.
It's time.
Whose car is this?
Whose name is that?
No way. What do you think about that?
That's cool.
That's awesome, Rich.
No pressure.
Thank you, sir.
I guess it's no secret now.
Well, her name's on the door.
But you do need to learn how to drive it. So
Yeah, it's a minor detail.
let's just go straight to the good stuff.
I'm in.
Hood release.
You know, I
Right.
love these cars, obviously, but I am shocked at the graphics. That is so
So
awesome.
once again, as we covered earlier, this is all paint. You've got a metallic, you got black, you got red, you got silver. It's cool. You got a big old 572.
We're good.
I remember our first conversation. You're like, I think you said, you're gonna do what? And I said, yeah, I mean, we've been tossing it around. It's probably one of the most popular blocked engines there is. And everybody's like, no way, that won't fit in there. It fits real nice.
That's amazing.
Perfect.
We went through great pains to package it in the same location and the architecture as the previous engine. So the bell housing location is the same as a 427 or a 350. Everything obviously fits well.
A 572
on electronic fuel injection. It runs on a Holly HP system.
I love it that the builders of these motors put their names on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
So thank you, Chuck Nicholson.
Yeah, that's really good. Deservedly so.
There's so much pride in these cars, it's amazing.
Definitely. So Camaro on this side.
What do you think about that, Junior? That's cool.
You'll be racing the car within a couple weeks.
I'm gonna take about 2.5 weeks.
When they want to do a fuel check, we've got a little valve here and a tube. You'll fill up that little cup and you hope you pass
Yeah.
the fuel check.
Okay.
Inside the car is we call the owner's delivery packet. So this
The
has,
best part.
yeah, and so you get the Chevrolet Performance logo, but any of the stickers you see in here are real important because these are the contingency stickers that have been using since the early 60s. When racers win a race, these stickers with that manufacturer is registered with NHR and MCA, and what do? They give you a check or they give you parts. So we make sure that any product that we've chosen that comes from one of those vendors, there's stickers in the car. So
That's awesome.
yes, you
Yeah,
can
I
make
like that
money
much.
with your car. How many cars can you do that you drive on the street?
Not very many.
No.
It's all about the sponsor.
Go into the back of the car. If you want to open the deck lid area, we have a release.
Oh,
Pops the
that would have
trunk.
been fun to find.
So that you never changed that.
Smart.
Nope.
This is very
So,
cool.
inside the trunk is your option was an all-option car. Great way to build a car. Dual batteries. There's a weight box there. So if your tractor's not getting enough traction, tractor doesn't have enough traction, put more weight in it. In most cases, we use that to set the weight for the class that we run in.
Very
NHRA
cool.
has classes according to the horsepower factor and the weight of the car. Fuel cell, in-tank pump. We also have a port down here that you can charge the car with.
That's how you turn the power on.
Yep. That's how you turn the power on.
Yeah, I remember when we first were
Which
first
we're
getting
gonna do.
COPOs. I didn't even have my license yet, and he sent me up for failure, and he's like, okay, turn it on. Walked
So-
around the car for like an hour.
Really?
I had never seen that, didn't know what I was looking at.
Would you like to sit in the car?
Man.
Go ahead, sit. Well, you're getting in it the right way.
That's step
She knows how to
one.
do that. She can get in and out of a race car.
So, Kelsey, why don't you just stay in the driver's seat there, and we fire this thing up. So, in order to start it,
crazy.
you'll put your foot on the brake, the other foot, hold it down. Car's in neutral. That's on, that's on, that's on. You hit that, and you can just feather the gas and fire it up. You got it right. I'll teach you all
That is awesome.
Sweet.
I tell you what, Rich, that's a work of art. It's almost too nice to be a race
Kind
car.
of cool, eh?
Oh my gosh, is that cool?
Just go burn these tires off. There's more where those came from.
Oh, I'm in. You wanna go burn some tires off, Kels? You shaking? Well, the car's shaking too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. That's
Just
really
take it outside and let it rip.
Holy moly.
So the roads aren't quite dry yet, but the sun is out. So we need to probably about another 15, 20 minutes according to Rich, because they've got a test track out there and he knows it pretty well. So we're gonna go and look at the paperwork, one of my favorite things. All right.
Did it look as cool as it sounded?
Looks good, doesn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a stud car. You built a show car race car. Who does that?
Well, I do it like I do my own. I mean, it's like,
most race cars are race cars, right, Alex?
Yeah.
That's a show car.
so what I'll do is
that's the biggest I've seen you smile maybe ever.
we'll
It's that
have
40.
Kelsey do a little bit of a burnout, then I'll have her go this way, and I just want her to shift. She doesn't have to go crazy with the throttle, but she can just shift 1, 2, 3 naturally.
Okay.
And then whatever.
No, even if she didn't agree, she didn't go crazy in throttle. Make her comfortable with a decent burnout.
Drive it
couple
like a
shifts.
normal car, what you're comfortable doing, but you don't have to lay into it like I do. Obviously, I can. It's what I do.
Yeah, I may wait too. There's a little bit more
Ready?
give.
All right, we're now at the 24th Street Tavern, which is where the turnkey / COPO guys go for lunch. It's their favorite place. Let's go check it out. Good, sir. That's a sandwich, Kels.
Two sandwiches. It's 2 sandwiches.
What'd you get, Zach?
Italian pita.
Look at that beautiful turkey club.
You ever heard of a guy named John Gadish?
Are those cheese tater tots?
Is this split?
So they warned us that the salads are huge. This is a split salad.
You guys need anything else besides the ranch?
I think we're good. We got ketchup.
Great.
You got enough
Thank you.
salad there, guys?
Thank you.
Good, Alex.
I got the chicken Monterey. Looks tasty.
Okay, we're going straight for the best bite. This has got to be it. The sandwich. But can I fit that in my mouth? Should I
gotta try it.
right in the middle or the end?
Get it done. You don't have to eat the whole thing in one bite.
I just brought on a ranch. Right up in your fries and ranch. Really good.
Finger licking good. And there's turkey.
What does that mean,
I
Kelsey?
have no idea.
So we're at the 24th Street Tavern. Like I said, we walked in. This is where the guys from Turnkey and COPO eat. This is the best food in town. Incredible club sandwich, turkey club. Great chicken Caesar. And Alex, yours looked delicious. What was that?
It was good. It was grilled chicken with some barbecue sauce, some mozzarella cheese, some onions.
Kelsey, you like yours?
That was phenomenal. Well, I split yours.
Now all we have left is to go load the car, get Alex on the way back to Dallas. I haven't seen these two guys smile so big the entire time we've been doing coffee walks. I'd say the COPO is a hit. Yep.
Double high five.
COPO Build Center.
It's a wrap. She's undercover. COPO serial number 1, 2022 is in the trailer. We're at the COPO Build Center. What an incredible day. Thank you, Mr. Rich Rinke.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, General Motors. Thank you, GM High Performance, for what you do. The fact that you can still order a car like that, have it built, and pick it up is insane.
Good luck, Kelsey.
Thank you for the coolest day ever.
You're welcome.
So I hope you guys enjoy as much as we did. More to come. Please like, tag, share, and follow. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next week. Outstanding. All right, we're off to the airport.
Well, Dennis, as you know, the 69 COPOs are real special cars. And part of that is the value of those cars is the level of documentation that was used not only to build that car, but as a central office production order vehicle.
And what's key to that, guys, is you can't get that.
Yeah.
It's not available. It's not archived. Chevrolet does not have it. So the people would have had to have kept it since 1969. So this is another reason why this paperwork is so special to me on these cars.
Yeah, we took the liberty of putting a book together for you, but the car comes with very specific documents that show that through this build process,
Right here, sorry to interrupt, I'm bad about that, but I'm excited.
No problem.
Serial number 1, 572. That's what you want to see on your build sheet to start off the day.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And all the boxes are checked, meaning that the operator, technician, or engineer who needed to be involved was involved. You can see signed, the actual date. Okay. First car off the production line of this 572 racers package with the Super Cool graphics. Additional information going on build station 2, station 3.
The car starts off as a base COPO, right? And
It starts off as a base COPO, and then you have a few options that you can select.
Well, I believe I selected the two coolest options, the 572 and the racers package.
Without question.
Okay.
You get the super high level rare paint job, and then you've got that 572 engine with the racers package, the wheelie bars, the parachute, and the weight box and the dual batteries. So finishing up on the build documents, and it is extensive. Nothing is missed in this thing. Torque specs.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So how long did it take to build this?
001.
I know. I love it.
I'm getting used to that now. So, and then we move on, and this is the very first document that we see coming in the building. In most cases, as the car is being built on the line, the first major component that comes from GM Racing is this, and CCA, is this document. This says this is the motor that goes with 001. So
Wow.
Don't lose this.
I won't lose any of it.
Okay. General Motors and ATI have been putting an awesome trans in these cars from day one. Turbo 400. You got your gear ratios and your all your information on your trans. And here's the spec sheet or the build sheet. It says it was done. It was dynoed. Chevrolet Performance gives you complete background understanding of the COPO program in this document. It also tells you about how to maintenance your vehicle and who to contact. Additional information from Holly. Holly is provides the HP ECU. Can be upgraded to a Dominator if need be for more data acquisition. But this gets you acquainted with the beginnings of how to understand how your ECU works and how to troubleshoot or find help from Holly. In most cases, especially this car, you're not touching it. And that's my recommendation.
I hear you. Hear that, Kels?
Yes.
Battery gas. Alex, battery and gas.
Strange rear axle, brakes, and struts throughout the entire vehicle. A partner on the COPO program from day one. Continues to be an excellent partner.
I never broke one.
Seat belts. Seat belts can vary between the different manufacturers we have and the usage, how you're using it. Gives you an explanation of also how to do your parachute. It's a Simpson parachute, and this explains once you've deployed it by accident or on purpose, it tells you how to put it back in. It will slow the car down. So,
Yeah, you don't want to pull that unless your brakes go out, right?
there's a pamphlet here which basically says, hey, you bought a COPO. If you'd like apparel or you need additional parts or you want to try to build your car on your own, get a hold of COPO Parts Direct.
How special is the 572 motor?
So the 572 motor is extremely special. It's probably one of the oldest platforms of engines used in racing, from everything from drag cars to boats to even aircraft. General Motors has supplied the big block for many, many years in their Chevrolet Performance catalog. It was a natural based on the amount of horsepower that it made and the level of development that was already done with the 572 with CCA and Russell Blimis from Racing Group, great people who paid a lot of attention to this package. But basically, it's a crate style motor that you can buy with 720 horsepower, and it's been built now as a COPO engine. So a couple unique changes in that process: steel crank, steel rods, forged pistons, aluminum heads, roller rockers, roller valve train. 572 cubic inches, running on electronic fuel injection. It's probably one of the best bracket racing cars we have ever built. And the best part is we really went on the mat to protect the value and the rarity as well as the affordability at the same time.
That is the biggest motor that Chevrolet has actually put in a car, right?
That I believe that is the biggest motor that GM's ever done. Back when we were transitioning from it was in the 2020 or 21 period, we were kicking around what would be about the coolest thing you can do to a COPO, and we said, something, GM has spent a lot of time on their crate engine programs, especially big blocks. There's some new ones out there coming. But the fact that you could do now a 58X big block 572 and put it into a COPO and make it real driver friendly was a big win. It took us about 3 days, and we had a motor that was sent to us, and we said, let's package it and try to maintain the same air inlet location, the same position as the LS motor. And like most all LS and big block and small block swaps these days, they really are a no-brainer. So, as you look through the Chevrolet Performance catalog, you see all their crate engine programs. Well, how about this? We can go to LS, we can go to big block, we can go to small block, we can do anything. So it's pretty cool that awesome huge motor is in that car.
That is a huge motor. I thought it was really neat when you first started the program, because the motor back in the day in '69 was a 427.
Yeah.
And you putting the 427s in the 2012s and 2013s was really, I thought it was really special.
Well, something real interesting happened over the years. We had a number of middle-aged guys and guys who really knew big blocks well, and that's what they raced with. And we said, wow, there's probably a market out here of people that have been chomping for one of these things that would just much rather have a big block. And
I just
These
like
cars are
I like the feel. I like that torque. It's a different feel. Than,
obviously there's extremely rare cars. They're purpose built, and I think the 572 makes it even that much more rare.
and this is the first car to get one.
001.
Thanks
man.
again, sir. Let's go smoke the tires.
Yeah, let's
go smoke the tires.
Get used to saying that. 001.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Kelsey, you ready?
I'm
That's it.
ready.